Alright, so let's see what we are gonna do in this session. So the organization I'm working for right now is Abortium. So the title is like adopting the Hindi Bengali language pair. That's what I'm gonna work on. So today is 22nd May. I have around a week's time before I get to work on my project. So it's time for preparation right now. Like every word is wanting pre-engagement calculations. This is the time to prepare. So I have this thing here. In fact, the Apertium Simpleton UI, I've installed the systems. Let me check. Yeah. So I have Apertium Bengali version. This is the Apertium Bengali. Then I have the lexical tools, selection tools. These are cloned from the Git repository. So if you are wondering where you want to get those from, so you go to github.com github.com/Apertium. Not that much, just Apertium. You will be redirected. Oh my god. Yeah, so this is the organization. You need Apertium init to bootstrap a new language pair. Yeah, so all the repositories you'll be needing are right here in the Apertium organization. I have already cloned lexical tools and my language pairs. Okay, so let's go back. You have the LT toolbox, which is very important for the morphological analysis. Okay, so now that we have all the required things installed, this is an important piece of software. Most people don't use this, but this is pretty useful. Guys might want to check this out. So let's take a look at the directories I have here. I have the Apertium Bengali, I have the Apertium Hindi, and I have the Bengali Hindi bootstrap pair right here. Now let's open up the Apertium viewer. So I have the Java version. I don't have the C++ version, but the work it does is same for both. So as of now, let's check. Let's go through the software just once. So in file you have load language pair, search for language pairs. So for example, like let me show you. In mode you can find all the language pairs that Apertium supports. Okay, so now we have load a language pair. I have already downloaded this, so I can easily load this. This doesn't have the mode file. Let's see which one has the mode file. So we have to work on that so that it works here. And that is one of the tasks that we have to do. Let's see. Okay, let's cancel this. We don't need pages. We have a notes app, right? Do we have a notes app? Oh. Anyways, it's one of the tasks in our to-do list. We'll figure it out later. If trunk, these are the pairs, and then this. As of now, we'll come back to this software later after we have figured out how the Apertium works. So I have this paper that I want to show you guys. I will study from this for the next week before July, before June. I'm sorry, before June, before because it's then when we have to start working on the project. This paper hasn't been released yet, but I've been given. My mentor gave this to me. Study for. Okay. Read till this part. So if you guys want to check this out, let's see. Let's go through this. So in this rule-based machine translation system, we are taking in the source language text, passing it to the deformatter, which goes to the first section of the RBMT, which is the source language analysis part. So here it goes to the morphological analyzer, then it in turn passes to the morphological disambiguation section, then it passes to this phase called the detokenization phase. Now we are passing over the data to the transfer section of the RBMT, that is the rule-based machine translation system. So the first part is the lexical transfer, then the lexical selection, then the anaphora resolution. Now we have two options, two ways to go about it. So either we are going to the shallow structural transfer phase or the recursive structural transfer phase. In the shallow structural transfer phase, we have a chunker, then an interchunker, then a post chunker. Then ultimately the data is passed over to the third part of the RBMT, that is the target language generation. So here we have retokenization, morphological generator, and a post generator. So then after the post generator, it is finally passed over to the reformatter, from where we are outputting the target language text. This is the basic mechanism of the rule-based machine translator system of the Apertium. And let's see what are the recent changes that have been done here. So an overview of the Apertium platform. We have constant grammar for morphological disambiguation. We have the HFST for morphological analysis and generation. So what is HFST? It's in the previous page. It's let's see, yes, Henskin finite state technology. One of the few recent changes that have happened here at Apertium are like we shifted our code base from the SourceForge to the GitHub source control. We switched from 2-letter ISO code system to the 3-letter ISO code system, a 3-dictionary model for translation pair. Yeah. So what I'll do here is I'll read the paper, and here are various functionalities of the mechanism here of the Apertium system. So let's go by it once, and then I'll end this session. I'll continue reading it for this week. Maybe there more videos will come out, but yeah, for now I'll go through the different steps and then end this session. So we have first the deformatter. It encapsulates any document formatting tags so that they go through the rest of the translation pipeline untouched. This is a language agnostic part of Apertium. Then we have the second part called the source language morphological analyzer. Segments of the surface form of text, words or multi-word lexical units using a finite state transducer FST, and delivers one or more lexical forms or analyzes, each of which includes a lemma and a part of speech label. You know the phase called the part of speech tagging of morphological analysis. This is that part. So part of speech label encoded as a tag, as well as any relevant subcategory and grammatical, example inflectional information, also encoded as tags. So this is the source language morphological analyzer. This is what it's doing. We have to follow the same steps when we are making the Hindi Bengali language pair. Now we have the second part, which is called the morphological disambiguation part. So we are doing this using the source language morphological disambiguator. So it tries to choose the best sequence of morphological analysis for an ambiguous sentence. The original apodium disambiguator used a first order hidden Markov model HMM. Other statistical models such as averaged weight perceptron have since been added and are currently in use for various languages. Additionally, constant grammar is often combined with a statistical model for a two-step process. The different approaches are discussed in section 3.1. So yeah, this is the morphological disambiguation. Okay, so first of all, which I would like to remind myself is Apodium is a rule-based machine translation system. We are taking advantage of the statistical machine translation system approaches to further define it. Okay, now we have the third part called the retokenization section. So source language retokenization. It adjusts token boundaries for multi-word expression which can be non-contagious, such as separable verbs in Germanic languages, in preparation for translation. Often this consists of combining component parts into single multi-word expressions. This module is discussed more in detail in section 4.2. Now we are going to the second part of the rule-based machine translation system called the transfer section. So here we have lexical transfer. It reads each source language lexical forms and delivers a set of corresponding target language lexical forms by looking it up in a bilingual dictionary implemented as a FST. Quick question, what's an FST? It's a finite state transducer. Yeah, so now we are going to the second part, which it is called the lexical selection part. So based on context rules that we will make, it chooses the most adequate translation for ambiguous lexical selection forms, source language lexical selection forms. The original module has been extended with new features like macros. This is discussed more in detail in the next section. So now we have the anaphora resolution of the source language. It resolves references to earlier items in discourse using Selin symmetrics. This model attaches the lexical unit of the antecedent to its corresponding anaphor to aid translation. This module is discussed more in the next sections. Now we have the shallow structural transfer. The two ways to go about it, the shallow structural transfer part. So the Apodium shallow structural transfer module implements a sequence of one or more finite state constraint rules on the output of the lexical selection model. It generally consists of three submodules: a chunker mode, an interchunker mode, and a post-chunk mode. Apodium 1.0 had a single structural transfer step. This was considered enough for the translators between the closely related Iberian Roman languages, which constituted the first Apodium translators. The one-step strategy is still used in current release versions of many of them, including the Catalan Spanish translation pair, which since has been continuously improved and is widely used. Okay, so let's cut that off and go to the next part, that is the recursive structural transfer. Okay, then we have the target language retokenization part. It adjusts the token boundaries for multi-word expression which can be non-contagious. Then we have the target language morphological generator. Delivers a sequence of target language surface forms for each corresponding target language lexical forms received from earlier modules in the pipeline. Target language post generator performs mainly orthographic operations, for example, elision, fusion, epenthesis, or dissimulation. Then we have the final form, that is the reformatter. It de-encapsulates any formatting information to prepare a finally formatted document in the target language. This is the language agnostic part of the Apertium. The reader is referred to the Apertium wiki for more information about the file naming conventions. Yeah, we checked that out. So here is the Apertium wiki pipeline. Let's check it out. To go through this, the sample codes are also there for different stages. So the Apertium RBMD system uses a pipeline. Okay. Here is the pipeline there. The same thing was there in the paper. So let's go through the pipeline once in a practical way, then we'll end this session. So here what we have in the PDF is, we went through all these stages in a theoretical fashion. So we'll cover this in the next video, but as of now, let's see the practical implication of these steps, how the sentences will be covered. So let's check it out. Example, the input text is in English. It says, John said he took the big plant out of the yard. After the morphological passing it through the morphological analyzer, it will look something like this. Then we have the morphological disambiguator, and after it goes through the disambiguator, it will look something like this. Then we have the discontiguous multi-word processing, and after passing through that step, it will look something like this. Then through the lexical transfer phase, it will look something like this. With the lexical selection, it will look something like this. So after the anaphora resolution, it will look something like this. The structural transfer, it will look something like this. And finally the morphological generator part, it will look something like this. And post generator will fix any anomalies that are there, and then we finally have the output, and everything will be outputted via the Apertium viewer. We can see every part of it, and we'll go through that after figuring out the software in next video. We'll put in the sample text here, and we'll get everything in the output section right here. So let's see how that goes around. So that's it for this session.